and the other arm would be fanning the hammer on this 6 shooter. I didn't want that stroke right there, but sorry. And then as I get into the gun smoke, take that down a bit and just do this side of the cuff. All right. I like that. They came out pretty close to what I had in my mind. So I'm happy with it. Wow. But now what I need is my detail brush to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with the border of the shirt. Hmm. This is actually turning out pretty good. All right. And I'm going to pull out my number 10 round spotter. Nope, I'm not going to use that one. That's the wrong one. This one. My number 10 spotter. Little tiny nib brush. And I'm going to play around a little bit with some areas all around the edge of the shirt. Just to break up that edge a little bit, give some shape to different parts. If this was a drawing, I would probably be a lot tighter on the clothing because the pen and ink would be a lot more precise. So I could really do some stuff with it. With the paint, which is a little less forgiving. I want to make sure I give rise to the right areas, create some of the creases and folds and the boundaries. And basically shape the form. And I'm still not stark white, so I'm leaving some room for highlights and shadows because I'm not stark black. So I have room to go up and I have room to go down. And I want that organic shape of the shirt as well. This is drying up pretty good in a way that I think I'm going to like. So now the question is, what next, right? If this comes out how I want it, where do I take it from here? Gary Allen, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Just doing a pop-up show of some live painting. Working on my Doc Holiday. Get ready for the summer shows. It's a nice quiet Friday night. Trying to do a little washing there like that. And that's coming out pretty good. And I am going to add just a touch of maybe a little bit lighter white. To I was just looking at an area that I thought I might want to add something to, but maybe I don't. I like that. I like that. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. I think what I want to do now is actually work on the holster. Just tighten up the parts that's in front of the shirt as opposed to behind the shirt. For example, this whole side would be in front of the shirt, and this side is going to be a mixture of in front and behind. And then this, both sides are a mixture of in front and behind. Hmm. Wow, this is coming along pretty good. Now I'm thinking, and I think I'm done with the bright. And I do think I want to tighten up that a little bit. I do not have a color like that mixed up. So I'm going to have to put something together. Or I'm going to try to reactivate one of the old colors from a palette. One of the great things about working with Illustrator gouache, I keep a little squeeze bottle of water and I just spray it on some of the dry paint on my palette and I can reactivate that color. And that makes it a little bit more watery, but I just take a little bit of fresher paint and mix it in there to give it a thicker consistency and a little more opacity, and that will help. And I'm actually going to mix my black with a little raw umber inside that area that I just showed you. And I'm going to use that combination of this color right here to work on those suspenders. Excuse me, the gun belt. Those aren't suspenders. That's his gun holster. I don't know why I keep calling them whatever the hell I'm calling them, suspenders. I guess I just got suspenders on the mind. Eva Beck, thanks for stopping by. Just doing a little live painting tonight, working on my Doc Holiday. It's the pop-up show. I didn't really have anything planned, nothing specific I wanted to talk about. I was just in the mood to paint, and I'm getting closer to getting to the finishing stages of this painting, so I really wanted to jump in and start working on it some more. This is going to be a combination of in front of the shirt and behind the shirt. And it's not the focal point, so I don't have to be too precise with it. But I also don't want it to look messy, like it doesn't belong either. See, this is what I was afraid of, is that that paint wouldn't be dry and I would wind up with a blend of chalky colors. On the good side, it'll create a little movement. On the bad side, I'm gonna have to do more blending. But it'll give it more shape and form, so I don't mind overall. I don't mind at all. In the words of famous artists before me, I just want to make sure it looks right. Tiny the artist and Comic Bruh, thanks for stopping by. I'm just doing a little quick pop-up show because I felt like getting some painting in tonight before bed. I appreciate the visit. I'm working on the shirt and the gun holster. Just because I put so much work into the face and hands, the shirt was looking kind of blah, blah. How are you doing, Miss Tiny? Did you have a show tonight? Or are you just out patrolling the apps? I actually like this color that I'm got up here. I think it's adding a little something to the painting. It's not a color I would want to take control of the painting, but I think it will add some nice texture and a little visual elements as it draws the eye to certain areas. So that works out pretty good. And I'm going to use this color also up around the collar of the shirt. Leah Ravens, Leah Ravens, Evans, Lorray. Is it Lorray Evans? That's a nice name. If I'm doing it right, if I'm saying it right. Everyone, thank you for stopping by, whether it's just to say hello and you're patrolling the apps or if you're going to hang around for a little while. Either way, I appreciate it. I mixed up this nice dark black color and I'm not even using it. And it's drying out on me, but I am going to use it. But I think I'm going to use it on the hat since I've already saturated up in the holster. And I got to let that dry before I fickle with it some more. But this burnt umber is giving me a look that I kind of like. So I just want to play with it a little bit longer. but that paint is still wet. So I need to let the shirt dry because I just did all this striping in the shirt. It's still wet and the brown is starting to leak into it. So I'm going to stop and I'm actually going to use this darker black brown that I mixed on the hat because I think it'll be a nice little touch. And for that, I'll use my number 10 round. Oh, yeah, that is a nice chocolate. Oh, yes. That looks beautiful. I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but the color looks really nice. I'm going to be able to do some nice shadow work with it under the hat. Bobo Digglegiff, thanks for stopping by. I can actually use this to shape the hat just a little bit. Showing how it melds around his head. And make that distinguishment between his hair and the hat. Okay, I like that. And the hat, I believe, is pretty much black, but I'm going with the dark black background, and the hat would just be, but I didn't use a touch of brown. It would just kind of fade out, and you wouldn't even know he was wearing a hat, which wouldn't be a bad look, I suppose. Overall, it could be it could be pretty cool that way. I did that on the Wired Earp piece where you can't really tell where the hat starts and stops in some areas. So it's a good look. It's a good look. I'm actually moving at a pace faster than I thought I would tonight. And that's not a bad thing. I thought it would take me a while to get warmed up, but it really didn't. I was able to just dive right in and get started, which isn't always the case, I must say. And normally, what I'll do is get to, I'll start working some pen and ink uh, to kind of warm up to the brush. But tonight I just kind of jumped right in. I guess I really did want to paint tonight because I just dived right in tonight. It's just been kind of flowing through me. I think it's because I had a very clear vision in my mind about what I wanted certain places in the piece to look like. Susanna, thanks for stopping by. So I like that look on the hat. So that's good. Face, hands, suspenders are looking good. I am going to go ahead and throw in some darker shadows while I'm filling my Cheerios. This is one of those nights where I could probably stay up and paint all night long. I doubt if I do it. And if I do it, I won't do it on camera. Um, I'm on the East Coast. I've already taken my shower and I'm ready for bed. So whenever the sleepies hit me, I can just cuddle up and go. But I'm feeling really, really good tonight. Like I really want to do more. And it's flowing. The ideas are flowing. I'm putting down strokes exactly where I want them, which is always a good thing. It could be the Zoa and rum that I'm drinking. Combination of Zoa and rum. Could that be the reason I feel so good tonight? A little combination of Zoa and rum. That would be hilarious. Wow, what's your secret? Zoa and rum. Don't tell the kids. Hmm. All right, I like that. That looks good. Um, wow, the hat came out really nice. Okay, so now what I think I'm gonna do is go back to my spotting brush and I'm gonna use the same color to work in some of the line shadows that I want in the piece. And by line shadows, I mean like this big crease that comes down and around. Brent B, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Just doing a little pop-up live painting. Lots of good stuff on shows tonight. Are you just out seeing what's happening, patrolling the airways? I was in a painting mood, so I said, let me go ahead and paint. Wasn't a scheduled show. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. Oh, cool, cool. Well, I mean, there's lots of originals, people stuff going on tonight too, but thank you for stopping by. I all of my shows I work on original art, so I shouldn't say that. Every now and then, once I build up a good collection of stuff, uh I'll run some prints. But for the most part, I try to do live painting. Nice. What medium do you use? I'm actually working with gouache tonight, Illustrator gouache, which is the water-based gouache as opposed to the acrylic-based gouache. Gouache. What is your medium of choice? Hmm. I can't. My paint's starting to dry up on me just a tad bit, which is okay. Just need to work a little bit faster. Oh, sculpture's nice. You know what? That I haven't seen a lot of people doing live sculpture work, and that I would love to see. Um, when I was in school, I learned how to sculpture, but I haven't really pursued it in any way, shape, or form. I hear you. I hear you. You know, art is all about fun, exploration. Um, I would say for people who getting back into it, just build up your confidence in something and start keeping a sketchbook. Keep your own personal sketchbook where you don't show anybody, where you pull out a pencil or you use a pen and you just start creating stuff that no one needs to see, but it starts to train your hand again in the things that you like to do. You know, I have a few paintings. I have one painting that I've been working on for a year. It's sitting over here on the side. I have another one that I've been working on for maybe 2 years, and they're not even close to finish. Oh yeah, I use my iPad. I have the app on my phone as well. I just don't do it as much on the phone, again, because I like the traditional stuff. So I find myself enjoying pencil paper, pen and paper better than the when I'm sketching. Now, if I'm sketching for a purpose, um, for example, I was asked to do some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which I hadn't done in ever, forever almost. And so, I just, that was more deliberate practice. So do you do some streetwear designs as well then? I know there's way too much paint on there. Thin that down a little bit. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So why are they more expensive than clothes would normally be? I mean, are there different types of clothes for drag? Hmm. Inquiry minds would like to know why you're charging so much for this, kind sir. Now, if I do this on the right, I always put shadows on the wrong side sometimes. I have to remember to put them on the back side of the crease over here. There we go. Yeah, that makes no sense at all. It's like, why are you charging me more for this mass-produced stuff unless it's a cut that, like you say, it's a cut or a pattern that would be, limited edition or even one off. Really? Now I mean, it might be a good business model. It's like, hey, if you want it, you got to pay. Although I don't understand why, if something costs as much used as it does new, why you wouldn't just buy new. Now that I don't understand. I mean, that would seem like, well, if you're going to charge me that much, I'll just buy it new. Am I right about that one? Oh, Brad, you are. They wear the outfit, sweat up in it, and then they're like, "Hey, buy some old sweaty stuff for the same price as new." That's hilarious. I don't know how old you are, but Do you remember or have you heard of a commercial? I'm an older person where Mean Joe Green throws this kid his jersey after he just wore it, and then the kid's like, "Thanks, Mean Joe." It used to be an old commercial, and then there was a lot of comedians who were like, "Thanks, Mean Joe, for this sweaty ass, stanky ass jersey." Oh shoot, that was hilarious. Mm. Oh my God. And it's funny now because when I see athletes or performers or anybody, you know, give their stuff away afterwards, I'm like, that it's gotta stink. It has to, right? You are famous. Everybody thinks they're famous in their world, right? If you're the one on stage, you're famous. Maybe local famous. Oh no, are you serious? They don't they'll do a couple of shows before they wash it? That's kind of stank. I'm sorry. That's kind of stank. Okay, so do they not hold up well in the wash then? Is that what it is? Really? Well, what is that spray? Is it shout? Shout it out. Um is don't they have something that you can wear that you can spray it and then you kind of like hang it in the shower so it kind of diffuses the funk. I think it's shout. Oh yeah, I mean that I know. If you're doing stuff with, the sequins and the rhinestones, you can't just be throwing that in the laundry all the time. You'll definitely mess that up, right? You got to be very careful with that type of stuff. So the alcohol doesn't the smell of the alcohol doesn't stay with the outfit because if that's the case, then that's cool. Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. Essential oils. I haven't heard that in a long time. When I was in college, we were huge into essential oils. I remember we were always when I when I graduated high school, it was all about the Old Spice. And then when I went to college, it was about essential oils. But I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of it was marketing because you had a lot of the colognes that were just raping people for what they wanted. It's like, how much is this? Oh, it's $80 per ounce. It's like, what, man? Get the hell out of here. I'll buy some soap and take a bath, and I'll smell just as good. And then a lot of the guys, we would get together and we would say, okay, we buy different colognes so that we could rotate with each other. So it didn't seem like you were always just wearing the same thing. But then I learned, and I forgot where I learned it from, but once somebody is into you, you don't want to change your smell. You want them to kind of always have the same smell for you. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's how you keep them interested. You don't change your smell up. And my college sweetheart, she used to tell me whenever I wore something different, she'd be like, what are you wearing? I was like, oh, I'm trying this other thing. And she'd be like, don't do that. Wear what I like. And I was like, oh, okay. If it works, it's work. That's right. I mean, the person who loves you and wants to be with you, if they want you to smell a certain way, to just smell a certain way. Although there was a um, another girl I dated once after when I was in the military, and if I wore something new, she would be like, "Why are you wearing that?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, I don't like that, so you wearing it for somebody else. I'm like, "Oh my God, how did you go from A to B?" I'm like that. That is so not the case. I just like trying different stuff. She's like, you don't need to try different stuff. You already know what I like. So just wear what I like. I was like, oh, okay. So sometimes it can backfire. So do you make outfits or do you perform as well? Or do you do both? Well, I'm assuming you do. I was Air Force. Are you at Fort Stewart up in Savannah area? I was supposed to do a I did a show there last year, Savannah Comic Con. I was supposed to do a show there this year, but I'm actually going to a art workshop, so I don't think I think there's another show at the end of the season that I might be coming to. Just depends on timing. But there's a show first week of May, first or second week of May, and that's the show I was supposed to do, but I won't be able to make it this year. I've done shows in Savannah several times, and they never disappoint. Um, I love doing them. I often see the soldiers come through. It's funny how many soldiers are nerds. Thank you for your service. I appreciate it. Yeah, Savannah is a pretty nice town. I have a friend stationed up there now. Uh, is she at Fort Stewart? No, she's not. She's Air Force. She's not Army. Um, which actually I actually don't know where she's stationed. And I talk to her all the time. Is what's the Air Force? Is it Air Force Reserve base up there? They might be on Fort Stewart. I feel horrible now that I don't even know. Even though I've been there too. I've been there to visit. We went out to lunch and I can't even remember where I picked her up. I'm a horrible friend. Yeah, they're uh, she's yeah, I just can't remember. She's logistics. She works in supply. Sergeant Hopkins, Master Sergeant type. Really cool person. I love her to death. We've been friends for years. Well, I used to come to Fort Stewart a lot. I worked for uh, the simulators for the tanks and the Abrams. I was in charge of that program. And so it's out of Orlando, and I would come up to Fort Stewart a lot because out of Orlando, we would uh, we would test systems up there because they were the closest tank and armor base. So I used to come up there a lot for when I was with the Army and working as a civilian. Not too long ago, actually. But I've just always liked Savannah. It's a very cool town. It's a very cool town. The people are awesome. They always are very genuine, welcoming, and polite. You know, I have no bad words for Savannah. Not to mention the town is um, just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I would say right now, almost everyone that I consider really close friends, we serve together. You know, it's just that lifestyle, right? You find people, you all start, you go places, you eat the same dirt, you have the same stories, and you have the same bonds. And it's those people you never forget, especially on deployments. Like some of the people I met on deployment, we're friends forever, especially for when different things happen on deployment, that's a whole life altering event a lot of times, and only the people who were there will ever understand, so you all share that common bond. I mean, Savannah is just it's so much fun. Whenever I come down, uh, I usually try to stay close, fairly close to downtown. Um, go have a nice dinner at the Boar's Head. Um, hang out on the river, do a little bar hopping, maybe. It's fun. It's a really good time. It's a really good time. I would never badmouth Savannah. Although I will say the cops are waiting to give you a speeding ticket as soon as you cross the border. Because Florida, we don't care. They're like drive as fast as you want to. And they're waiting. They're just like, yeah, bring your little Florida ass over here so I can give you this $300 ticket. Hmm. Very cool. What kind of are you going? What are you going to college for? Oh, I get pulled. But see, you probably have Georgia plates too, right? I have Florida plates, so they're waiting on us. Oh, okay. Was it Florida plates? Because I think they target us. I think they're waiting on us because they know we're coming up doing 75,000 miles an hour, and most of us can't drive. What's funny is Florida is full of people who are not from Florida, of course. A lot of people from the Northeast come down here, and they make it almost impossible sometimes to drive. Like they've never seen rain and water, and of course, Florida's full of rain and water. I'm trying to put some really heavy shadows in on this side because this is the side away from the light. But I'm also going to come back with some pretty big highlights on the top. So I want to save some emphasis on them too. Can you make a full career with drag? I mean, is that something that's even possible, or is it always just a part-time profession? I can see that. I can see where that would kind of set you apart as a nice skill to have. We have a here in Orlando. We have a. I'm in the Orlando area, but I'm actually right across the street from, or right across the river from Patrick Air Force Base. But and we hang out in Orlando. I mean, that's the next major city. Um, and there is a drag bar here called Hamburger Mary's, very popular place, pseudo famous, and I don't know if you've heard of it. Um, last time I went there was for a friend's birthday party. She wanted to go, and so we all went with her. And yeah, I would say makeup is a big thing. There's some you're like, wow, that makeup looks great. And then there's some it's like, uh, I could have done that. Hmm. What is a drag race? So is Hamburgers Mary's? Is that? Are you talking about the one in Orlando, or is it a chain? Is it not a? Is it not unique to Orlando, or are you talking about the one here in Orlando? Or do they just are they that popular that people know what Hamburger Mary's is? Oh, okay, yeah, it's nice. It was fun. It was really good. It was really good. I will say one of the performers, I mean, oh my God, they could sing. We were all like, "What?" I mean, just blew us away with their voice. I was like, "Damn." We were all very impressed. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, I had never heard of it until my friend wanted to go over there for her birthday. And and I think there was a bunch of us that went. I think we took like 6 to 8 people, and we had a great time. We just had a really great time. Uh, but definitely just some of the talent. I was kind of blown away. I was like, wow. So you are the joke teller. So do you do the emceeing a lot then? Is that kind of your forte? The person who was emceeing at Hamburger Mary's was fantastic. Had us rolling on the floor, and then one of my buddies who was in the Air Force at the time, he actually just got out. He was active duty Air Force at the time. Just got singled out and picked on, and he was like, "What did I do?" And we don't know how he got picked out and singled out, but they were on him, but it was all in good fun, of course. And but it was hilarious because we were like on the way home. We're like, dude, what did you do? He was like, I didn't do anything. He's like, I sat there just like you all did. They just had his number. Yeah, it's definitely an adult crowd with the humor. Like if you can't take a joke, um, I would say don't go. Or definitely don't sit by the stage because we were up close because we got reservations for her birthday, and so we were up close. And yeah, if you can't take it, just fade to the background, fade to the background. All right, I like everything except that shoulder, but that shoulder's gonna have some big splotches. But I do want to do one thing to it. It's just too bland right now. Yeah, it's different being. So I did stand up comedy for a while. I performed in Florida, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois, and here at the base in Florida. And there's definitely a difference between being funny and being an ass and just being mean and cruel to people. Um, and you do kind of have to judge the crowd, right? You're like, okay, are they gonna get this the right way, or are they gonna be pissed? I've had people who want to fight me after the show because they want to heckle, but they don't realize you can't heckle somebody who's on stage with the microphone. It's just a bad look. You're gonna get smoked, right? I'm like, I have the mic. You know, maybe 10 people hear you where everybody in the club is gonna hear me. Oh, thank you very much. And I think I might be, I wonder if I can, because he's got some sweat marks right around there, but I think this is still too wet to try to get a wash on top of it. I would just ruin it. Um, because I'd want to do a wash here, a couple other places I just want to do a nice wash. But I think I'm at a point now that I have to stop and let it dry. Yeah, I used to tell people, you know, they would get mad. I'd be like, you came to a comedy show with comedians. You could have sat there and just laughed and shut the fuck up. But you thought that you were funnier than the people on stage. You thought, you make your friends laugh all the time. You're the cut up in your group, and you are going to get the best of the comedian. And I'm like, first of all, that's dumb. You're not going to get the best of the comedian. And second of all, that's dumb. You're not going to get the best of the comedian. Right? I mean, it's not smart. It's a win. It's a lose-lose situation. It really is. And then on the occasion when you do get a good heckler who is a little funny, they don't know when to shut up and stop, right? You're just like, okay, you had some cool jokes, but let's get back to the show now, right? We're done with your part of heckling. Yeah, it's I was a short, skinny kid, and so you know you you pick it up really fast, right? You learn. how to combat heckles really quick, fast, and in a hurry. And what's funny is that as a short, skinny kid, that's the joke people are going to say, oh, you're short and skinny. Okay. One, it's true. But two, everybody's heard that. So once you say I'm short and skinny, then what do you got? Now you're out of material, and I'm just going to roast you. I'm going to make you feel embarrassed, and then you're going to get mad, right? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was first cutting my hair really low, and people were like, "Oh, you're bald." Okay, what do you got after that? What if you don't have jokes and all you have is observations that everybody can see? You know, and you don't have material, you're asking for it. You're just asking to get smoked in front of everybody. And the funny thing is, people think it's all about the truth, where it has nothing to do with truth. If I tell people I can smell your breath from on stage because it's so stank, they have no idea. Most people know that's not true. But if you just go, my breath don't stink. Well, I like that. You're an only child and you're still not the favorite. That's cool. That's funny. I like that one. Oh, that's good. That is good. So Brent, it was nice talking to you. We're at 1 o'clock in the morning here. I am actually gonna call the ball. Um, the hat's done. I've got most of the shirt done. I did the hands and face yesterday, and now I need for this to dry so I can go over it with a light wash and throw in some shadows and highlights. It's dry-ish, but if I try to do a wash, it's going to just turn muddy real quick. So I need to let it sit for a couple of hours. So I won't be doing much on it until tomorrow. But it was nice meeting you. I hope to see you pop up doing shows on sculpture or whatever art you choose to do. Good luck with finishing up your army career and getting into drag and the clothing. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever you come up with next in your career. And hopefully you're doing some stuff on Whatnot, and we'll be able to follow you. And again, thank you for your service. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out with me and chatting for a little while. It makes time go a lot faster. I'll be honest with you, if you hadn't jumped on, I probably wouldn't have finished all of the wrinkles. I probably would have just called it a night. So you kind of helped me keep going tonight, and I appreciate it. So you take care, brother, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, talk to you later. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. And if you're watching this replay on YouTube, thank you for your rewatch. On Thursday nights, I go live doing mythology and fantasy art. And on Saturday night, I do pop culture and comic sketches. So, Brad Scott Art across the board, all platforms. Take care and peace out.